Hello and welcome. You're watching News 9 Live, and it's a very big day. Even though Team India is not in action and they are going to play their last game tomorrow, their semi-final hopes are precisely pinned on the upcoming game between Afghanistan and New Zealand. To discuss more on the subject, I have my colleague Nikhil Narayan with me, and I also have my colleague Shubhayan Chakravarti, who is joining us from Abu Dhabi. So Shubhayan, I'll come directly to you first. How important is today's game, especially for Team India, and how do you even see Afghanistan bringing a surprise against New Zealand?
Atisha, I'm surprised. I'm surprised not to see Nikhil with a tika or something. I thought he would be doing some prayers today in the
I don't
studio,
believe in
and
God.
that is what exactly we need at the moment from the 1.3 billion population of the country. They need all the players. And coming back to the hopes of Afghanistan winning this match, see, it is going to be a very difficult challenge. Of course, we say that all we are dependent on hopes, and hopes sometimes doesn't win you the matches. The matches is won by the quality and the intent on the day. Afghanistan, although they have all the quality and the intent in this T20 World Cup, I think New Zealand are a notch or a couple of notches above the quality that Afghanistan team have. I'll give New Zealand 70-30% chance of winning this match. But cricket is a funny game. We have seen so many upsets, so many surprises in this sport, in the history, and in the past, and in this tournament as well. And hopefully, speaking on behalf of all the Indian fans, I hope that Afghanistan can spring one such surprise today.
Well, definitely, Shubhayan. It is hope, Nikhil, which every Indian can only have right now. Now, going forward, Nikhil, Afghanistan has already become a second favorite team for most of the neutral fans after their home team,
Correct.
because they have played so much cricket over the years, and also the way they have grown cricket in their country has been tremendous. But today, they'll have the support of 1.3 billion people. So, how do you see this game going forward? And do you think, like the same question which I asked Shubhayan, can Afghanistan do it?
You know, Atisha, I almost started praying. I don't believe in God, I'm an atheist, but I almost started praying last night so that Afghanistan beats New Zealand today. Such is the occasion. This is a huge match. What my friends in Star Sports are telling me that this match is going to be watched by crores of Indians. So this match is a big match. India's hopes lie on Afghanistan. Our friendly neighbors Afghanistan have to win this for us. They need to beat New Zealand. They can beat them by any margin. We will deal with Namibia tomorrow. But please, Afghanistan, beat New Zealand today. 1+ billion Indians all over the world are praying for you today.
Well, there you heard Nikhil. He is praying along with 1.3 billion Indians for Afghanistan to spring a surprise against New Zealand. And now, Nikhil, let's talk about the all-important qualification scenario.
Yeah.
So, one game and the semi-final hopes of three teams hinges on this particular game. So, the equation for New Zealand is simple. They have to just go out there, register a win, irrespective of what margin it is. They are going to qualify for the semis along with Pakistan. But where it gets tricky is when Afghanistan springs a surprise against New Zealand, Nikhil.
Yeah, if Afghanistan beats New Zealand, then it actually helps India more than it helps Afghanistan. If Afghanistan beats New Zealand by any margin, 10, 20, 30, 40 runs, even if they chase it down the target around in 18, 19 overs, India will just have to beat Namibia because of a superior net run rate, and India will qualify for the semis. If Afghanistan, however, beat New Zealand by a massive margin, let's say 90+ runs, or they chase down a mediocre target in less than 13, 14 overs, then India might also need to beat Namibia by a big margin tomorrow to qualify. But all in all, the most probable sort of scenario for India to make the semi-finals is Afghanistan beats New Zealand, even by half a run, just beat New Zealand, and we beat Namibia tomorrow, and then we are through.
Well, definitely, Nikhil. It is a very complicated scenario if Afghanistan wins the game. Shubhayan, now coming to you on the same question. How do you think can Afghanistan spring a surprise against New Zealand? And you think what will be that margin if Afghanistan wins, which will help India to qualify for the semis?
Atisha, any margin will do, as Nikhil said. Any margin will do if Afghanistan manage to beat New Zealand. And coming back to their quality, see, they have players who have played T20 cricket all over the world, be it Gurbaz, be it Rashid, Nabi, Mujib. They have Naveen ul Haq. They have players in their team who knows this format in and out, and that is where all the Indian fans, all the Afghan fans will hope that they can capitalize on that experience, on that knowledge of this format in this match against New Zealand. And remember, Afghanistan, although they haven't played top 10 teams in Abu Dhabi much, but they have a superior record. They have a tremendous record. Before that India match, they were unbeaten in last eight games in Abu Dhabi. So all hopes are that they can replicate that sort of form in against New Zealand. But again, I am repeating, it will be a very difficult task against New Zealand. The three spinners, Rashid Khan, Mohammad Nabi, and Mujibur Rahman, who is all set to make his comeback into the playing 11, will be the most crucial factors for the Afghanistani team if they want to beat New Zealand. And of course, their openers, Zazai and Shehzad, they have to finally come good if Afghanistan have any chances of winning this match.
Well, definitely, Shubhayan, the three spinners are going to play a very big role for Afghanistan if they want to beat New Zealand in Abu Dhabi today. But before we move forward, let's listen into what players think going into this all-important clash between Afghanistan and New Zealand.
Absolutely. Spearheaded by Rashid Khan. Obviously, Mujib Zadran is phenomenal as well. But Mohammad Nabi, very cagey off spinner and bowls really well through the power play too. So that's definitely where their threat lies with their bowling attack. And I'm sure all the batsmen during the scouting meeting have taken that into consideration, as well as the threat that they bring with the bat.
Touch with him. And about the team campaign, we only focus on ourselves, our team. Our main focus is how we qualify to semi-finals. So we will go with that, and our focus is only on us. So we will try our best to qualify for the semi-final. If you see, our spinners are very good, especially in these conditions, Dubai. We have played a lot of cricket here, and we have that benefits. But against the big teams, we should play good batting also. The batsmen should take responsibility to play well against them. And about tomorrow pitch, I can't say anything because I don't know about the pitch. I didn't saw. We will see before the game tomorrow that how the pitch will be.
Well, you heard Shahidi there. He was talking about how important the job of the three spinners, three Afghan spinners become going into this contest. So now, Nikhil, coming to you. This is the first meeting between Afghanistan and New Zealand in a T20 international game. But New Zealand and Afghanistan players have played a lot against each other in IPL and other franchise leagues. So how do you think New Zealand top order batsmen coping up with three quality spinners in Mujibur Rahman, Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nabi?
Yeah, I mean, the 8 overs by Rashid and Mujib will actually define this match for Afghanistan. Mujib is a top bowler in the power play. He picks up wickets. He is brilliantly restrictive, and thank God he's playing this match. Rashid Khan is used in the middle overs between 7 and 15, also in the death by Afghanistan. So that is the strategy. The third spinner can be used in the power play and middle overs. So how New Zealand play out these three spinners, whether they concede wickets to them or not, will be key for Afghanistan's success in the match. Mujib has to take wickets, Rashid has to take wickets. It is not enough for them to just restrict the opposition today. They have to pick wickets.
Well, as Nikhil said, the Afghanistan spinners need to be amongst the wickets, and just being economical won't cut the deal for Afghanistan. So Shubhayan, we all know that you have to go and attend the press conference at 2 o'clock. So, but before I let you go, I have an important question for you. Everyone wants to know what's the latest on Mujibur Rahman. Is he still injured, or is he in line to play in today's game? We also heard Ravichandran Ashwin jokingly said that he is ready to give India's therapist in order to speed up the process of Mujibur Rahman's recovery. So what is the latest on Mujib, Shubhayan?
Atishay, I'll give the good news that he was warming up just before just as we speak, he's warming up in Abu Dhabi, and he's all set to make a comeback into the playing 11. He has passed all the fitness drills. So I think it will be a welcome comeback for Mujibur Rahman in such a crucial time. Another update before I go, I would like to give our viewers that India were supposed to train at 6 p.m. local time today at ICC Academy in Dubai, but they have postponed their training session by half an hour so that they can, and I'm pretty sure they all will be watching this match together, and after that they will take a call whether to train or not this evening. So it is going to be a fascinating contest, and on behalf of everyone present, praying for the Afghan team to win, I would like to say that, see, it is going to be tough, but we expect a good contest. We expect a good contest because this Afghanistan, they play with a brave heart. They play with passion, and they would want to finish this World Cup with a win to give that sort of joy. Even if they don't qualify to the semis, they would want to finish this campaign off with a win. So let's hope for the best. As an Indian, let's hope for the best and let's see what happens. I'll be now off for the press conference.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Shubhan, and for all the latest updates on Mojibur Rahman and also Team India postponing their schedule by half an hour. So now talking more about Afghanistan and New Zealand, Nikhil. It is very interesting to know that Afghanistan have the best win-loss ratio in T20 international cricket, even better than the teams like India, New Zealand, Australia, who have played this format more than the amount of games Afghanistan has played. So how do you think their form in UAE conditions will help them get the better of Kiwis?
Yeah, it is interesting. Afghanistan has been a phenomenal T20 side. Their rise in T20 cricket, Atisha, is one of the greatest success stories, of the last decade in our sport. Now, since 2018, Afghanistan has won 78% of the matches. Of course, this comes with the caveat that Afghanistan play a lot of matches against weaker oppositions like Scotland, Ireland, the Dutch. But still, to have a win percent of almost 80%, which means you win 4 out of every 5 matches, is very impressive. On the other hand, New Zealand since 2018 have lost more than they have won. They have a win percentage of 47%. Which means they haven't been, at their dominating best in this format. They've done better in ODIs, where they reached the finals in 2019, and the W Test Championship, which they won, beating India in the final. Even more significant, Atishay, is Afghanistan's stunning record in UAE. They have won 16 of their 18 matches in the UAE since 2016. And New Zealand has lost 7 of their 11 matches in the UAE in the same time frame, which means conditions definitely favor Afghanistan. The hot, humid conditions in the UAE, of course, are similar to conditions back at home for Afghanistan and very not similar to what you find in Auckland, Christchurch, Dunedin, etc.
Well, definitely Afghanistan will have an upper hand going into this contest because they have played a lot of cricket in UAE, as you rightly pointed out. And the numbers also tell us that Afghanistan have performed significantly better than New Zealand has in UAE conditions. So now from this game, we all can expect a lot of fireworks as both the teams have batsmen who can clear the fences very easily. But before we move any further, let's listen into what Ish Sodhi had to say on this festival of firecrackers.
Oh yeah, so we've been really fortunate to have a buffet that's put on. The chefs have been fantastic here, and luckily our security manager Terry, he's got some Kashmiri roots, so he got in the ear of the chef and said, instead of having some fruit or a cake or something for dessert tonight, can we get some gulab jamun and maybe some gajar halwa? I was pretty gutted that he didn't organise some ras malai. Obviously, that's my favourite sweet, so a bit of a shame, but nice to be able to spend Diwali with a couple of people, and it's been really cool because a lot of our Kiwi guys have, the Kiwi players have played in the IPL a lot, and so in the early morning, the first thing they said was Happy Diwali, so that was pretty cool.
Well, you heard Ish Sodhi there. His favorite sweet is Ras Malai, and I'm pretty sure 1.3 billion Indians today are waiting for Afghanistan to spoil Ish Sodhi's party and feast on Ras Malais and Gulab Jamun. So now moving forward, Nikhil, I think Afghanistan has a well-rounded team, so does New Zealand. But where New Zealand has an edge over Afghanistan is that the experience of playing in matches like this. New Zealand have found themselves in such a position time and time again. They have been in so many ICC tournaments finals. But moving into Afghanistan has a fearless unit. So that fearless can go forward and do the trick for Afghanistan. Don't you think so?
Absolutely. I mean, Afghanistan has, 3 world-class players in their unit. I think their most destructive batsman at the top of the order who can do maximum damage in this match is the swashbuckling, left-handed Hazratullah Zazai. Now, Hazratullah Zazai hasn't done justice to his, prodigious talent in this tournament, but overall, he has 660 runs in just 19 T20 internationals at a strike rate of almost 150. That is absolutely phenomenal. Also, he scored 212 runs at a strike rate of 186 in the Pakistan Super League this year, which has high quality pacers and high quality spinners, some of them who are playing for Pakistan in the current World T20. So beware of Hazratullah Zazai at the top of the order. I am pinning India's hopes on Zazai today. Also, Atishay, we have this, the captain of Afghanistan, who's a very underrated lower order batsman. He can be very destructive. He's a cameo specialist in the lower order. Then we have this playmaker in the middle order, which many pundits don't talk about, Najibullah Zadran. He has scored around 1,100 runs at an average of 32, strike rate of 140, very impressive in the middle order. So these three are the key batsmen, according to me, for Afghanistan in this match.
Well, so we have some big news coming in right now from Abu Dhabi is that Afghanistan has won the toss, and like they do all the time, they have decided to bat first. So again, they are going to put runs on the board first. So how do you see this approach by Afghanistan?
Not surprising at all. Unlike all other teams, Afghanistan prefers to bat first, put up a total, and then defend it through their bowling might, which is the might basically of their two spinners. Their bowling is their strongest suit according to them, and they bank on Rashid and Mujib to defend any total. So I'm not surprised that they won the toss and opted to bat first. Also, there's a very interesting stat that Afghanistan have won 8 of their 9 matches in the UAE batting first since the 2016 World T20. So batting first, Afghanistan does well in the UAE, and not surprising, they won the toss in a big match, decided to bat first. If they score anything above 160, game is on.
Well, definitely, Nikhil. In a game like this, you should always trust your tried and tested method, and Afghanistan has once again gone to bat first. And also, Nikhil, what will be important here to notice is also that it is an afternoon game. There will be no chance or very minimal chances of dew. So Afghanistan spinners might not struggle to grip the ball that much. And now that they have Rashid Khan, Mohammad Nabi, and also hopefully Mujibur Rahman in their ranks, so it is going to be very interesting how New Zealand approaches this run chase. And if at all Afghanistan managed to put anywhere around 160 to 170 runs on the board, and the Abu Dhabi boundary is being long enough and pitches offering assistance to spinners, it is going to be a very interesting game between the two sides. Now let's also talk about another spin maestro, Rashid Khan. You spoke about Mohammad Nabi. We also discussed about Mujibur Rahman. But the X factor for Afghanistan has always been Rashid Khan. He's arguably the best T20I bowler. He now also has 100 wickets in this format. And in the middle overs, he can not just pick wickets, but he can also stem the flow of runs. And that is what Afghanistan and all of India will hope he does that today.
Absolutely. The 24 legal deliveries which will be delivered by Rashid Khan today will be like gold, each one of them. He is by far the greatest, not only spinner, bowler in T20 cricket's history. He has the best bowling average and best bowling strike rate in T20 cricket history. He's phenomenally restrictive. He's done wonders for Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL. Overall, he has 399 T20 wickets as a striker, just 16.5. He does not give away runs. How he is used by Nabi will be crucial. I think he should be brought on immediately after the power play from over number 7, and then depending on situation of the match, he should be unleashed against Kane Williamson. That is the key matchup we are looking forward to, which we'll talk about a little later. But he has to target certain New Zealand batsmen. He also, remember, has to take wickets today. Restricting will not be enough. So Rashid Khan is like gold for Afghanistan today.
Well, definitely, and we also have some big news coming in again from Abu Dhabi is that Mujibur Rahman has been selected in the playing 11. So he is part of the Afghanistan's team today. Again, a big plus for Team India and all the Indian supporters that one of their main guns when it comes to spin bowling is there in Afghanistan's unit today. So now I'm just going to read down the playing 11 of both the teams. Starting with Afghanistan, the dashing opening partnership of Hazratullah Zaizai and Mohammad Shehzad will take the opening slot, followed by Ramanullah Gurbaz, Nazibullah Zadran, Gulabuddin Naib, Mohammad Nabi, Karim Janat, and Rashid Khan, Nabinul Haq, Hamid Hassan, and Mujibur Rahman. So this constitutes the playing 11 of Afghanistan. Now talking about New Zealand, they are playing with the same team as which represented the country in their last game. Martin Guptill, Daryl Mitchell, Kane Williamson, Devon Convoy, Glenn Phillips, James Neesham, Mitchell Santner, Adam Milne, Tim Southee, Ish Sodhi, and Trent Bolt. So once again, on paper, both the teams look pretty good, and we can expect a cracking contest from Abu Dhabi today. Now, moving forward, which are the 3 players you think Afghanistan need to counter today? Be it, I think one for sure is going to be their skipper, Kane Williamson.
Yeah.
So, who are those 3 players who can change the game in the favor of Kiwis, which Afghanistan need to look out for?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with Martin Guptill. He is a destructive, top-order, experienced New Zealand batsman. He scores big runs at the top of the order at a very high strike rate. When he crosses 30, New Zealand win around 75% of their matches. So for Afghanistan, it is important that they dismiss Guptill early, preferably before he crosses 30. Then, as you mentioned, Kane Williamson. Now, Kane Williamson is a run machine, but Kane Williamson isn't a great T20 batsman. He's a great Test player. He's a decent ODI player. He's not a great T20 batsman. Of course, he's had his moments in the IPL, etc. For Kane Williamson, Rashid Khan will be the trump card in the middle overs, and Rashid Khan has to ensure that even if he doesn't dismiss Kane Williamson, he restricts Kane Williamson. Williamson doesn't have a great strike rate against leg spin. It's around 110, 115. Then very, very crucial for Afghanistan is that they get a good start, which means they do not give wickets to the left arm swing of Trent Bolt. Trent Bolt has been a nemesis for India. The angle especially to Shehzad, he'll get the ball away, he'll get the ball in. So Shehzad has to be careful against Trent Bolt. Don't give early wickets to Trent Bolt.
Well, definitely talking about giving early wickets to Trent Bolt, there is an interesting stat, Nikhil. Well, Trent Bolt has bagged somewhere around 8 wickets in this tournament so far, but only 2 of his wickets have come in power play. So that's a good sign for Afghanistan that Trent Bolt is not tasting the same level of success which we have been accustomed to from seeing from the left arm pacer. And now, as you rightly pointed out, the key battle, the battle between Afghanistan openers and Trent Bolt is going to be very interesting. Afghanistan openers will want to not just score quick runs but also keep their wickets intact, because they have a middle order and a lower order which can just come in and strike those big sixes and accumulate runs at a pretty good pace.
Correct.
Now, another key battle according to me is going to be between teams Tim Saudi and Shehzad, because Saudi is in terrific form at the moment.
Yeah.
I was the one who underplayed him, I know, because most of the times he has been very expensive in IPL cricket, but in this tournament particularly, he has bowled excellently, not just in the power play, but also in the death overs. So how important it will be for Afghanistan batters to negate the threat of Tim Saudi?
Very important, Atishay. Interestingly though, and I found this interesting, and contrary to popular perception, Zazai and Shehzad both have a better average and strike rate against fast bowlers than they have against spinners, which is very strange. Therefore, they may find it easier, the ball coming onto the bat. Remember, the wicket is expected to be sluggish. It's expected to be slightly slow. The faster bowlers, which means the ball will come onto the bat. So Zazai and Shehzad may find it easier to face Bolt and Saudi than is Sodhi, etc. Also, this is a day match and they are batting first. So under the scorching sun, Bolt will not get much swing. So all this is playing into the hands of the Afghanistani openers.
Well, definitely, Phil, the 2 fast bowlers are not just going to be the primary threat. The two spinners from New Zealand, Ish Sodhi and Santner, they have gone a bit under the radar, but they have bowled brilliantly right through the 4 matches of the Super 12s. So how do you think, because not just they have bagged wickets, again they have been able to stem the flow of runs. You know, Afghanistan, you can expect them to be better against spinners because they play a lot in subcontinental conditions. But how important it will be for Afghanistan's middle order, which comprises of quality players in Gulabuddin Naib, Mohammad Nabi also comes, and then there is also Rahmanullah Gurbaz, to negate the threat of spin duo.
Absolutely. They need to be careful of Ish Sodhi. Ish Sodhi is the wicket taker in the middle overs. Santner is more restrictive, much like Vittori was. Ish Sodhi has picked up a wicket in his first over in each of the 4 games for New Zealand. That's a very interesting stat. But Afghanistan has a counter for Ish Sodhi in the middle overs. This batsman of theirs, Rahmatullah Gurbaz, he has a strike rate of 165 against leg spin, which is absolutely phenomenal, which means he's not circumspect against leg spinners. He goes after them. And someone today has to counter-attack Ish Sodhi. India paid the price, Virat Kohli paid the price of not counter-attacking him, and India went down to New Zealand. Rahmatullah Gurbaz is Afghanistan's answer in the middle overs against Is Sodhi.
Well, definitely. And before we finally wrap up our battles, there is going to be the biggest battle of all between Rashid Khan and Kane Williamson. Probably one of the best batsmen in any format of the game right now against the best limited overs bowler. Not just the spinner, but I think he's the best limited overs bowler we have in our ranks. So how do you think and who do you think can dominate this battle? Will it be Kane Williamson or are you putting your money on Rashid Khan?
This is a very interesting battle, Atishay, simply because they are teammates at SRH. Now, Rashid Khan would have bowled to Williamson several times in the nets, which means they know each other's games, nuances inside out. Yet in international cricket and in domestic cricket overall, they've hardly played against each other. Also, Williamson, as I pointed out earlier, does not have a great record against leg spin. His average is very good, around 46, 47, which means he scores runs. But he does not dominate leg spin. His strike rate is only 114 against leg spin, all T20 since 2018. So, Rashid Khan will certainly try and restrict Williamson. The crucial part will be, can Rashid Khan dismiss Kane Williamson early in his innings?
Well, definitely that is going to be one of the keys to success for Afghanistan. They have to get the wicket of their skipper Kane Williamson early, because once he is settled, he can just take the game away from Afghanistan. So now talking about Afghanistan's possibility or chances of winning this game, what percentage do you think Afghanistan has in them to spring a surprise against New Zealand?
I think winning the toss, batting first will give them confidence, because this is the formula they like. If they score above 160, which the batting has the potential to do so, especially given that New Zealand bowlers, the fast bowlers, will be bowling under the sun, they won't be bowling under lights, so there will be no swing. And given the fact now this is a day game and there will be no consideration of dew, which means Mujib and Rashid can be at their best potentially. I think any total above 160, and then I would say it's a 55-45 to Afghanistan actually, if they score 160 plus. If they score anything between 140 and 160, then I think it's 60-40 to New Zealand.
Well, there you have it. Nikhil has his pick. We are all rooting for Afghanistan to spring a surprise in Abu Dhabi and, ensure, give a way to India to make their way to the semi-finals. Well, that's all from us at this point of time. Do join us at the mid-inning show. Until then, goodbye. Take care.